Come all you young rounders, and a story I'll tell.
It's Book Talks and Baking. Well, there's no baking today, but I am literally baking. It is so hot. Okay, I didn't research very well. There were no open flames allowed on the trail because they had recently had a forest fire. And this is not the most disappointing and duh Kelly thing from this video. As you can see, this is not the Appalachian Trail. Guys, it happened to me too. We had gorgeous footage, beautiful footage. We went on the Appalachian Trail. It had been raining. I mean, we had some stunning photos and video, but they're missing. I lost the footage. I didn't lose the footage. I deleted the footage. I thought that they were backed up in Google Photos, but they weren't. They still needed to sync. And I thought they were there, and I had run out of room on my phone. And an incredibly stupid moment, I deleted it all. When we discovered what I had done, everyone's like, hey, it's okay. Your phone, it saves them for 30 days before it deletes them permanently, right? Yeah, if you have that button toggled, it does. We downloaded retrieval apps. They didn't work. We took it to a techie store. They worked on it for a week. They couldn't retrieve any of the footage. It's gone. But hey, we still have books to talk about. If you're taking your kids to the trail and you want to get them pumped up and excited about going, here are a couple books for older kids, ages 8 to 12. Here they are. So the first pick for children's fiction is Hardy Boys, End of the Trail, number 162 by Franklin Dixon. It is written for ages 8 to 12. Fans of the Hardy Boy mysteries will enjoy this 144-page adventure novel. So the boys are hiking in the Appalachian Trail with their friends, Chet, Phil, and Biff. But then the Hardys hit a snag when their daredevil friend Biff gets hurt. The old mining town of Morgan's Quarry is the nearest place for help, but even the run-down, isolated town turns menacing when two tough locals drop a bag full of money right in front of the brothers. Joe and Frank are stonewalled when they ask about the money, and then the roads are washed out, the phones are down, and a crumbling mansion hides a gold mine of secrets. Every fork in the road leads to more danger, and everyone in Morgan's Quarry seems bent on making sure the boys don't make it out alive. So my second pick in children's fiction, all about the Appalachian Trail, is called The Trail by Meika Hashimoto. And this book is a coming-of-age novel written for 8 to 12-year-olds. This 229-page adventure story will hook readers of any age. Toby has to finish the final thing on the list. It's a list of brave, daring, totally awesome things that he and his best friend Lucas plan to do together, and the only item left is to hike the Appalachian Trail. But now, Lucas isn't there to do it with him. Toby is determined to hike the trail alone and fulfill their pact, which means dealing with little things like blisters, the heat, the hunger, and the big things like bears, loneliness, and memories. When a storm comes, Toby finds himself tangled up in someone else's mess. Two boys desperately need his help, but does Toby have any help to give? The Trail is a remarkable story of physical survival and true friendship, about a boy who is determined to forge his path and to survive. I didn't forget the younger kids, so here is a book for the itty-bitty folks. And it's called Grandma Gatewood Hikes the Appalachian Trail by Jennifer Thermes. It is a 48-page biography written for 5 to 7-year-olds. It's also illustrated by the author, and it tells the tale of the first woman thru hiker on the Appalachian Trail. Emma Gatewood's life was far from easy. In rural Ohio, she managed a household of 11 kids alongside a less than supportive husband. One day, at age 67, she decided to go for a nice long walk and ended up completing the Appalachian Trail. With just the clothes clothes on her back and a pair of thin canvas sneakers on her feet, Grandma Gatewood hiked up ridges and down ravines. She braved angry storms and witnessed breathtaking sunrises. When things got particularly tough, she relied on the kindness of strangers and sheer luck to get her through the night. When the newspapers got wind of her amazing adventure, the whole country cheered her on to the end of her trek, which came just a few months after she set out. A story of true grit and girl power at any age. Grandma Gatewood proves that no peak is insurmountable. And here are 3 books about the Appalachian Trail for adults. Now moving on to the adult fiction picks for the Appalachian Trail. The first one is a cozy mystery called Appalachian Trail Mix by Annis Ward Jackson. It's a Rachel Myers murder mystery, book number 5, but they can be read as a standalone book. Convinced by a friend to join a woman's hiking club for a day on the AT, Rachel has what she considers the bad luck to be the one who finds the mutilated body of a young girl that has just been dumped off on the trail. Clues are practically non-existent, even after the corpse has been identified as a local high school girl who was supposed to be on spring break in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The victim's mother persuades the reluctant detective to find out what happened, although she feels lost without her best friend and lover, Detective Robert Barnett. Myers plows ahead while she gets to know a newcomer to the area, a video ad technician. Meyer becomes totally immersed in the crime, and although the motive eludes her, she soon turns up several suspects. It could be the moonshiner, the poacher, or the boyfriend. Or it might be someone much closer to Rachel. The second book that I've chosen is called Stumbling Thru, Hike Your Own Hike by A. Digger Stolz. Welcome to the world of the Appalachian Trail. Every year, thousands of pilgrims arrive at Georgia's Springer Mountain and set off with hopes of reaching Mount Katahdin in Maine. Roughly 10% ever complete the journey. It's more than likely that in the AT's long, storied history, Walter is the first person to thru hike against his will. He is out of shape, out of sorts, and now that his wife has decided enough is enough, he's out of the house too. It's that classic scenario, hike or else. Since the poor morose Walter can't figure an else, he sets off on the longest walk of his life. While braving the great eastern woods, Walter meets an eclectic cast of hopeful thru hikers. As they journey northward, this rollicking band suffers through every hardship that America's premier hiking trail can throw at them. It isn't long before Walter is looking at life through new eyes, and just maybe for the first time in forever, starting to feel better about the world and his place in it. But no way is that alone going to be enough to get him to Maine. And the third book is called She Walks These Hills by Sharyn McCrumb, ballad number 3. And this is more of a suspense novel. In the Appalachian community of Dark Hollow, Tennessee, some believe that the ghost of Katie Weiler, kidnapped by the Shawnee 200 years ago, is once again roaming the hills. Only an old woman gifted with the sight, and policewoman Martha Ayers, can put the superstitions to rest and stop a flesh and blood predator as elusive as the whistling wind. She Walks These Hills by Sharyn McCrumb is based on a legend. In the 1700s, a woman, Katie, is captured by Indians and taken away after her family is killed. When she escapes, she walks over 200 miles to get back to her village, then mysteriously dies the night she arrives home. Katie still walks the hills trying to get back to her village. In the present day, a convict escapes and tries to find his ex-wife. A professor tries to retrace Katie's journey back to her village, and a new police officer looks for a kidnapped baby. They all end up in the same spot for the grand finale. And my nonfiction pick comes from the Wander Women. I am so excited. They sent me a video about their experiences on the Appalachian Trail. They tell us their favorite book, the book that helped them the most, and then they tell us what their favorite spot on the trail was.
Hey, it's the Wander Women,
Annette.
Kristy. We hiked the Appalachian Trail as a thru hike in 2019.
It was our first really long through hike. We had done the Colorado Trail, which is about 500.
And we loved every minute of it. It was incredible.
Yeah, the Appalachian Trail was really fun for us, really challenging for us.
Yep. So we met so many amazing people and made a bunch of friends along the way we still stay in touch with.
Yeah.
So
since it was our really first super long one, Kristy found this book from Chris Cage called How to Hike the Appalachian Trail. And we both ended up reading it, and we both really liked it.
we think that was our favorite, but we haven't, I'll be honest with you, we haven't read a ton of books on the Appalachian Trail because there's a lot of good ones out there. But that one we did read, and that one stands out from the books we did read as one of our favorites because it just helped us prepare. It was about preparing.
It's kind of a practical guide. And we followed some of his suggestions. We still follow some of his suggestions on our hikes. And he's kind of down to earth and
he's middle of the road. He's not extreme.
You know, he's kind of like stay calm and
and
enjoy it and don't drive yourself into the ground and
take your time.
Take care of yourself.
Nurture yourself along the way. I mean, and so we do our 2 hour, every 2 hours we take a break. We didn't do too many miles. We started out with less miles and built up and really made a difference for us in our success. So we think his book was probably the one that helped us the most on the Appalachian Trail.
He did a good job. It's clearly written. I think he went on to have
started a business called Green
Belly backpacking
foods and stuff. Yeah. And then our favorite spot. Now we love the Appalachian Trail and going through all those states. We went through 14 states. But my favorite, and I think Annette's too.
Yeah, I think we agree on this.
Is Mount Katahdin.
Hey, look where we are! Oh my gosh! On the top. 2,200 miles, 6 months, 9 days.
Yeah, Katahdin
was just the best,
and not just because you're finishing, but it was really the trail was cool. It's kind of a challenging trail. You know, you have to do a little bit of scrambling, a little bit of climbing, a tiny bit.
So fun. You're scrambling up rocks,
and then you get up there, and it's really cool.
And that big brown iconic sign.
You can see the sign from really far away, and that whole experience of okay, here we go. We're about to finish this thing. Makes Katahdin special. I liked it so much. I would like to go back and hike some of the other trails to the top.
Yeah.
There's the Knife Edge.
There's a lot of
there's something. I'd like to go back and do those as well.
So we would encourage people, get out there. Just do something out there. You don't have to do the through hike. Just get out and see the beauty. It goes through national parks and national forests and beautiful.
Yeah. They used to do that 14 state challenge where you just hiked within the 14 states of the Appalachian Trail. You hiked a little bit in each of the 14 states. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's great.
That would be quite a trip.
Yeah, get outside, people.
So
get outside.
Bye.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. Hey, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.